Miguel, hi.
Andrei.
Thanks for your help from your country, from Portugal. It's very symbolic that we recorded our interview almost after the visit of President Zelensky to your country, and I want to thank you for all your help. And personally, I know that you help us a lot in humanitarian activity, in all kind of activity. And our first interview we made in Porto,
Yes,
in
exactly.
your city. Now we are in Kyiv, and with KyivStratPro, with our NGO, which trying to establish some kind of contacts and bridges between Europe and Ukraine, Western Ukraine, to strengthen our relations. So my first question concerning the main purpose, I would say, which you see as a foreigner, as our friends, as of our friend in strengthening Ukraine. How we can make Ukraine, I would say, self-sufficient now, not just to collect the humanitarian aid, which is very important, but how we can be self-sufficient in a lot of areas.
Very good. Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you also to Ukrainians because you are a superpower in motivation for everybody. So that's why also I think it's a reason that everybody got so engaged from the beginning, from first day. Everybody got engaged into helping, trying to help Ukraine, especially with humanitarian aid. As you know, also in the Western countries, they all support Ukraine until the end. And there are many reasons for that. You are probably the last post-Soviet country that is willing to join the so-called free world, the so-called Western way of life, economy, and freedom. So these are several issues that we see as very important to keep on helping Ukraine. Also, we are very close. Actually, we are a couple of thousand kilometers away, although Portugal is the furthest country away from Ukraine. The empathy and the sympathy that Portuguese people have towards Ukraine is astonishing after almost 2.5 years of war. And yes, you are right, the civil society in Portugal has helped a lot. We didn't do anything by ourselves alone, so we had also some Ukrainians in diaspora helping, a lot of businessmen that are also very curious about Ukraine, and they want to establish also some kind of relation. But you know it better than me, it's not easy, especially when a country is in war, to assess exactly the right needs right now.
What are the needs? What we can do? What are the tools
So the
for
tools,
self-sufficiency? Because this is your thesis, which
yes,
you mentioned many times during our
yes.
not public meetings, I would say, to make Ukraine more self-sufficient in economy, in independent things, to create our own areas. So how we can do it? What are the
So
tools?
we have a saying that usually you don't give the fish, you don't give the fish to someone, you teach them how to go fish with a fishing rod. And this is happening only when people actually come to Ukraine and see reality. Basically, you don't have such a need as in the beginning of the traditional humanitarian aid, but also in the humanitarian sense of helping. We want to help Ukraine, not the reconstruction, that is the trend word. Everybody's talking about reconstruction.
Recovery.
The recovery, yes, and the construction of a new Ukraine. You have, from what I have seen here and talked to a lot of businessmen and also local authorities, a lack of the modern things that we call modern and standard, European standards. And this is a way we think, and we talked a lot about this, to help Ukraine get self-sufficiency, is to help create a plan where we can in a very transparent way. This is the most important aspect, I think, for everybody, for Ukrainian businessmen and
Transparency.
local authorities to know with whom they are dealing outside.
Agree.
And for European businessmen and local authorities. And why local authorities? Because they have the decision. They have the right exact needs of what their communities are lacking of, especially here in Ukraine. And in Portugal, for example, where I come from, the local authorities are actually the best carriers of this know-how, and they have a lot of experience also with mistakes done in the past, which we would like you to learn not to repeat them. And we have some success, or a huge success, in different areas where we can be useful. So in a humanitarian sense, we want to prepare and to help you prepare Ukraine as a self-sufficient society, a modern society, and this will need to be done among local authorities for start.
Well, my last question concerning the practical steps. I know that we both of you and I we tried to establish some kind of relations between cities, so-called city diplomacy, inter-city partnership. We tried to develop relations between the different civil society organizations. We have some problems concerning the critics, but we're persistent. We are persistent. We try to reach our goals and to promote Ukraine abroad and to promote help outside Ukraine, in Ukraine. What do you think, what are the priorities for, you're actually the member of advisory board of KyivStratPro strategic promotion. What next steps should be done?
Well, actually, you have done some steps ahead. The government here in Ukraine has established a very open way to work in solutions also with civil society organizations. And this is actually what we believe in. Since 2.5 years ago, we started doing this work of finding or searching for solutions and ways to find solutions. It's an example that the West should follow. It's not very easy when you have a structure that is usually used to just work among themselves. So, and this is a very important step. Civil society can contribute a lot, and this means with making these bridges with cities. We have an example of a city in south of Ukraine. We are in negotiation with them since over a year now, and with a Portuguese city. So the protocol of cooperation will be probably done in a couple of months or a couple of weeks. Everything looks very promising. And this way of being a catalyst for resilient recovery of Ukraine is something that is very honorable for us to be part of. As a strategic KyivStratPro, as a strategic forecasting and promotion organization, we also want to help to create these bridges between not only the local authorities but the local communities in the cultural sense, environmental issues, and the reorganization of the urban structures. They depend obviously from private promoters and private companies. And imagine yourself, you are outside of Ukraine. You don't know the reality, except the majority, of course, of the reality you get from TV. And the reality you get from TV is from the war front. So the same thing happens in Ukraine. Businessmen don't get the transparency of with whom should I talk outside of Ukraine. Because there's a huge lack of competition. There's a huge lack of people, of hand labor. And there's a huge need of production in Ukraine. And it's not a plan that we can wait for the war to end.
Yeah, I agree.
Because this is the typical answer I get many times. Oh, Ukraine, okay, let's wait until the war ends and then we will do something. And then it will be late. For those who want to do business, it will be too late because they can go to the row and stand in line. The time is now. The time is now, and we have to start to analyze, to assess what is needed, to prepare the future for a prosperous joint cooperation and success for everybody, of course.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Дякую.
Дякую.
Слава Україні!
Героям слава.